this is Thennary with another episode of Thoughts for Utano Prince Sama Revelations. This is for the first episode, and I have to say I'm really happy that, I'm finally here with this current season, season 3 of the Utano Prince Sama anime series, especially since it does look like indeed this season is going to have a lot more focus on Quartet Night than the previous one, where they were like kind of introduced, but for the most part were in the background. That said, the first half of this episode was basically kind of a reintroduction to all the characters, as Haruka just seems to be wandering around aimlessly one night and runs into like everyone from Starish and Quartet Night, and of course they all more or less give her a love confession, which she is pretty oblivious, well, not always quite oblivious to, but she has definitely kind of friend-zoned everyone in this series. But it's nice because with that we at least get to see a little bit more of like Quartet Night, and just for the fact that we have not seen too much of them yet in the series. Though, like I said, this definitely seems to be the season that changes. As the second half, instead, it more or less focuses on this new, I guess, plan that Shining Saotome has, where apparently there's going to be this big sports event, which is basically like, I guess, the Utano Prince Sama version of the Olympics, for the way that it's explained, where it doesn't always happen in the same country, and it only happens every few years. And Shining Saotome, for his agency, they're putting forth like Quartet Night to be hopefully the group that performs the opening ceremony. And at first everyone's pretty happy about that until like Starsh talks about it later, saying like they want to be able to do the same someday, and kind of generally happy for Quartet Night, until Cecil, being Cecil, brings up the fact, when will their someday be? And that's when the members of Starsh realize that they're probably never going to get that chance. So they go ahead and find Saotome to ask him to let them perform, and Saotome's kind of against that, and until he brings up the word revolution, which kind of gets repeated a lot. Just about every character gets the chance to say the word, so you will remember this. And that's basically where the episode leaves off. It's basically your kind of introductory episode when it comes to this series. It kind of feels a bit fillery for me, but that's probably because I am watching it all in a row. So I have just finished like season 2, so I really don't feel like I need to be reintroduced to these characters for that first half, but still it's always kind of fun just because everyone does have very much their own style, and it's kind of all over the place. And then you have like moments with Camus riding around on a horse in the middle of the night, and then of course just figuring out where the world is Haruka going in this. I mean, at first it just seems like she's going to the dorms, which makes sense, but then she kind of gets to the dorms and I don't know where she's trying to go there. She's just kind of like wondering. I wonder if it's like she realized that, hey, maybe if I kind of walk around, I'll run into everyone eventually, after she ran into already so many of the guys on her way there. But of course that's just perfect Utano Prince. You don't really think too heavily about it. Just enjoy it for the fun that it is. And this series already looks like it'll be pretty fun. Definitely interested to see if whether or not this means that Quartet Knight and Starish are going to end up being rivals a bit. Also really enjoyed that we opened up with a Quartet Knight kind of performance, since, you know, always the first episode of the series you have a performance piece, more or less. Usually it's Starish and one of their songs. This time it's Quartet Knight and one of their songs. The only thing I think I was really disappointed with was that when we actually got to the Starish song, which will be, I'm assuming, the theme song for the, yeah, it is the theme song for the series. It's not all completely well, not sure how much is hand-drawn these days, but they definitely went CGI for some parts of it, and that CGI looks so awkward and so stiff, and that's really disappointing, because those are usually lots of fun, because it just is, and without that kind of fluid motion, it just kind of takes you out of it. It does have one at least nice fan servicey moment with Ren and Tokia, and I think that's another thing I noticed, is that there wasn't nearly as much kind of like fan servicey, I guess, motions going on with that dance for that song, which also a bit of a disappointment, especially after the second season where they really kind of amped it up. And I think part of it is because they did the CGI and they just can't get it to move where you could really do all those hip rolls and everything. So, yeah. But yeah, like I said, that's the only disappointment I have. Really interested in learning about Quartet Knight this time around. And, of course, finding out more about Starish, because there's still so much to learn about these guys. And yeah, very glad that I can move right into this series without a wait time. And by the way, I think I have it all scheduled. I will be catching up with the series before it stops, before it finishes off, so really excited about that. Even though it means I am actually going to have to finally wait like a week between episodes. That I'm not so much looking forward to. That said, I think I'll go ahead and wrap up here. Thank you for watching. I hope you subscribe to my channel, leave a like or comment. Until next time, bye!